And we're live for episode 122 for FMA discussion of the martial traditions in the Cordillera or Cordillera, cultural and martial traditions. But before we start, I have to introduce you to our two guests. Um, Michael Bugnosen to your left on your right hand screen, and Sonny Bugnosen, the elders of their particular tribe. And then we also have Ariel Ramos on the iPad. There he is. For some reason, he's not working on the Be Live, but it's okay. We found some way to show him. Before we continue with our episode, first, they do want to show a video piece, and we will be going over the topics of that for this particular episode. So this is a very multimedia experience. So please thank our guests for being so kind to do this for us. They're also members of the NCIP, National Commission of Indigenous Peoples of the Philippines. And today, 2021 is a really big year for the 500th, the quinticentennial contact with the Spanish and the Filipinos. So let me show it in stream now. And
hey, Pao. How are you, Paolo?
Ba't di nagpe-play? That's really weird. I just showed this in our interview, last time. Did you play in Facebook already before? Did it get many views already?
No views though. Unlisted.
Hold on a second. If it's not gonna play like that, I will just do it like this because people are waiting.
Yep.
So hold on. Let me X that out.
There you go.
Nagaman on isipat bin ipila kan di kayon idulawon. Antun sayang min idulawon. O niya lasumi kan di kayon ipila.
Ang takot sa iyong damdamin ay pamanas ang aking galing. Tumayong buong tapang harapin ang buhay at kapin ang tagumpay. Tulungan ang kapwa at bigyan halaga, wag akin ng pababa. Isipin mo sana ang sarili lang, pagsama bayanihan. Subukan natin isulong at ligawan ang magandang bukas. Ikaw at ako magkasama tayo. Lubungin ang kinabukasan. Mandirigmang Pilipino, dakilang lahi ko, bayaning Pilipino, sa makapago. Panahon Kasina't hawakan ng aking kamay, sabay abutin natin ang tagumpay. Tuloy lang tayo sa pagpapanday, tiwala sa Diyos ang isang lahat at sabay. Subukan nating isulong at ligawan ang magandang bukas. Ikaw at ako magkasama tayo sa lubungin ng kinabukasan. Magaling mandirigmang Pilipino,
That was a
Okay.
that was a very spectacular video, and thank you for that. And thank you, Jeremy, for sending that in the chat. And so again, reintroducing again our guests, father and son team, Michael Guevara Bugnosen and Sonny Bugnosen. And then Ariel is gonna join us through iPad, Ariel Ramos, which is currently in Manila. So the gentlemen too are in the mountain region, the Cordillera region right now. So just a little brief introduction for that. Unfortunately, for even a lot of Filipinos, some of them are as far removed from the needs and lives of the indigenous people there. They see it as an exotic thing, back home. Like the stereotype is, they go up to the mountain region to get tattoos from the tattoo artists, or the tales of the haunted white lady of Luwakan Road, Kofafi. So if you're not Filipino, you wouldn't really know about that story, but supposedly it's a white ghost lady that is a mixed person, and they were killed by her relatives, and she's haunting the road that leads up to the PMA. So we're here to dispel those things and have the people from the Cordillera region talk about their side, and maybe perhaps not list them at the same tangent as FMA, because they didn't bow to no king. They didn't bend the knee. they are essentially the keepers of an old flame, of an old wisdom tradition that is pretty much unbroken since the time that they came from the Taiwan, per the genetic studies now and the genetic drift studies. So really, like, they're among the most indigenous peoples, and like, I would say original stuff. That's why it's IP, indigenous. So go ahead, sir. I leave the table to you. We'll just ask questions later when it's done, the questions that they send me. But you'll carry this interview because I mean, we're under your good graces. The fact that you're gracing us with your presence, and you showed us the video. So go ahead.
Okay, Julius. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Michael Bugnosen. So I practice and we do research on our material culture and our martial traditions. But the guidance is from my father. So I leave it to my dad on any questions you want to leave. So or comment, will answer you. So I leave it to my dad on the traditions. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about the first portion of the video that you showed. We can see that there are warriors. These warriors just came from battle, and they are chanting their exploits. How they defeated the enemy, how many heads are taken, how many of them died. That's it. So and then after that, there's a scene where there is a conflict management. We call that sipat budong. It's a IP, conflict management system. We call God Kabunyan. So he is much involved in this. Unlike other conflict management, which you sign paper, and then some sort of a pact that which is practically broken anyways, because it's just a piece of paper, like what the Americans did. Sorry to say, the Americans listening, the white people, let's say, did with the Indians. It's just a paper, but that paper also states that they should leave their land, the ancestral land, and they'll go to a reservation, like that. So we don't honor those kind of agreement. No. So if they want to agree with us, then we should invoke God and no sign of paper, and they should leave our lands alone. They should leave whatever alone. So in the past, hundreds of years ago, that's what we are doing up to now. If there is a tribal, let's say tribal war, the one that you seen the scene a while ago, we do that. So there is a ritual. No? And then the two communities will talk. The elders of the two communities will talk. Not the Council of Elders. Not only that, there is also a peace pact holder, something that is strong in stature and which is respected. He will hold the pass. He will see to it that the peace pact will endure and will hold. So that's how we do it. Now, then we came, the Ipanaw, the book launching made by the NCIP. Ipanaw means our journey. So it's the journey of the indigenous people before the colonizers came. And like us here in the Cordilleras, they never did surrender. They also fought. And they never did surrender the ancestral lands, their customs, and their traditions. So it's not only the us Highlanders here in the Cordilleras that fought for our coveted freedom, but also these IPs in Mindanao, some in Luzon, some also in the Visayas. There are also IPs, but they don't call themselves IPs. They are the Moros, those who are practicing Islam. We call them the Muslims. They also were never conquered. They never did surrender their integrity, to any conqueror, whether it be Portuguese, Spanish, American, Japanese, or now
Chinese.
Yeah. No, they never did surrender. And something is the soldiers, that our government sent came from us here, the Igorots, the Cordillerans.
Right.
Even if you check on that. They are the warriors that, yung bang sinubo ng gobyerno.
Yes, yes, yes. The ones
Yeah,
that the government sent in the most
yeah,
dangerous missions,
yeah,
and typically, just like here in the United States of America, a lot of the best trackers and special forces guys are Native peoples.
yeah,
There's big representation in the combat applications group of Native American trackers, particularly Apache Navajo, and so it's the same
yeah,
thing. It's the same thing in the Philippines when you get the Scout Rangers over there. A lot of their best
yeah,
trackers are IP Cordillera people.
yeah.
Yes.
So going back to the Ipanaw, you can see that in that book, if you have that book, it's very rich in culture. Now, you see how their traditional weaving, their traditional forging, no, because the strength of the nation is in the forge. No, if you manufacture good blades and good utensils, then you will endure. Now the forges have turned into factories. Those who can turn out airplanes, ships, tanks, they must have a good forge. No, so that is what it is now. So
I,
that tradition is slowly being erased because of industrialization, especially these Chinese. They bring blades and the market is they grab the market from those blades utensils coming from our ports, especially the ports of the IPs. So and so with clothings, they also manufacture some sort of indigenous clothing materials. So how sad to say, no? So it's a good thing that this Ipana project came about. So our culture, our way of weaving, way of handicraft and forge will be sustainable so as to give some income to the IP ethnological tribes here in our country.
Okay, so the Epanow book would be for free. May e-publication siya. So you could message our office if you want to have it. I think they would be releasing it somewhere July this year, but it would be for free because we've been delineated and segregated. All of our customs and traditions were not really published. So I think it's about time that people should know who we are as a people. So not just from the Cordilleras, but all throughout the Philippines, as you've seen the videos. Yeah. Secondly, we also have our material culture and our indigenous industries that you could see in the video, where our textiles, our what do you call this? Our metalworks, everything are shown in the video too. Aside from that, we also have, if you've seen there, our martial traditions. Yes. So maybe what do you call this? Vlad, you could show the video of Bava Mitra. So maybe you could explain who Bava is. Yeah,
Yes.
he's a Cordilleran.
Yes.
He's a musician, and his traditions came from the roots in Lubuagan in Kalinga. So maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Before I do that, just so that I don't lose my track of thought, because someone did text me.
Yes.
I do want you to address, because in the video you had one where it's the blades of the unconquered. I'm guessing
Yes.
that forge is in the mountain region, correct?
Correct.
And you guys
Yes.
were doing reproductions of not only your blades, but blades of the unconquered peoples of the islands that comprise the Philippines, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I just want you to talk about that, because you had one that did the presidential emblem. So you did it
Yes.
for the president. Cool. So
Yes.
the thing that he was talking about, the video that Michael sent to me, was a video by a very prominent musician in the Philippines by the name of Baba Mitra. He comes from indigenous people or tribal band called Kadangyan. They're quite famous. In fact, I've been a fan of them, and I'm an Amboy. I've been living most of my life now in America compared to the years that I spent in the Philippines, which was 12 years. But I've been a fan of them since the mid 2000s. And they're quite popular in the resort circuit, all throughout the Philippines. And so a lot of people don't know that Baba Mitra is from the Highlands, and he is a keeper of their martial tradition. So people all see him as like peace, sunshine, and rainbows, but he's a warrior. He's all tatted up, and so let me upload that right now. So let me see if I can make it work through. Let me see if I can make it work through YouTube. If not, then I'll just there's no YouTube for that, right?
I'll send it to you now. Wait. I think I've sent it to you. Wait.
Oh no, you did. You did.
Yeah.
You did.
There you go.
So there it is. So I should have one from. Got it. If that doesn't work, I will just post that. Do it again with my hand, and it sucks too because cancel. It sucks too because I just did a kettlebell workout last night. That's why my hand is shaking. I don't know why it's not. Why is it not doing that? Nope. I just have to
hold it again.
Yeah, I'll just hold it again. And then I'll just send it in the comment section.
Okay, again. It's slow. Do it slow. Yeah. Boom. There goes your head. See? Don't move. Short. Tsaka, minsan, mga araw yun, parang yan, nasa loob. So, kung madali na kasama, okay, bakit mo din madali sa So it's kind of like your ass is also your shield. Yes. Kasi, pag nabumag, nababag siya. So pag pwede nababag sa isipin mo, minsan dito. So, lagi ang kasama. Kaya minsan pag sa jungle fight, medyo mas skip yung mga tulog sa kaiwan. So, mostly. Hintayin mo doon. Yeah. Makukuha mo yung kulo. Exactly. Pull down. So paano po yun para mag-okay? So, I'll stop Very good. I don't want to do it. Kung pag-reverse na ako doon ako. Suntok mo eh. Maalis ka. So the footwork is very much, Omar. Don't stay in one place. That's very, very Igorot. Yeah, no staying there. Always in the back. Now you understand our dance? That's why. That's our footwork. See, that's our footwork. Yeah. So. See the half steps. It's the half steps. See the footwork. Yeah, it's in the footwork. Kaya pala yun, share ng importance na yun.
Oo, hindi ano yan, no? May gamit lahat yan. This is another level, bro.
Ano naman po yung defense chance? How I should attack you? Going to bounce?
Listen,
Oh, ito. Pulin. Hindi na pulin. So, I don't know where we should make a plastic model.
Yeah.
So as you see, Baba Mitra, the famous musician, is a keeper of a martial tradition, and essentially that's how you properly use the axe. And just to provide context on what he was saying, for people that didn't understand Tagalog, for our Westerners and other people watching, he is giving combat tactics on the proper vector of attack to do that, meaning he's always trying to outflank the opponent. The measure of the axe is perfect so that when you do the pirouette, when you outflank them, it's the exact distance for you to do a decapitation strike. And also the pointed tip, typically the target would be like the thigh, obviously because of the femoral artery. And the footwork, at least in this martial tradition, because there's still a lot of debate about like, are FMA, hidden in the dances? Well, in the indigenous Philippines, they are. He was saying in the video was, see, that's from our dances, that half step, that half beat. So he had a short one and then a long one. So if you think about it in an FMA term, corto meaning like when everything is so tight, and then a long range one. And then he had one when he is able to hook the weapon to attack right away without him getting cut by his own weapon. So there's particular tactics for the very design of the axe. And there are other secrets, but not allowed to share that. And we're not going to give that link, clearly. That's not a public thing. It's just, you just saw it here. So you should just be very thankful with what you got. So you care to expand on that, sir?
I give it to my dad, yeah. That's an elder, yeah.
You see the shape of the head axe? It's like some sort of conical on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when there's a strike, a slash, the parry would drop the sword either on the left or on the right, and that's where the hap will come in. If it drops on the left side, the hap will go on the left side, cutting. If it will be on the right side, then the hap will be on the right side. So not much is being shown, the technique there. Just some a little bit. There are hooks. No, there are the lot. Yeah, you can they can decapitate just straight, parry and then go in for the kill. Yeah. No need going at the back. You can do it in front on the side. And one more thing, he didn't show the jumping up high because there are also leaps. They will leap, and then they'll get the head or whatever.
This was a slide.
Yeah.
Baba, I'm gonna go get killed by him because I know he's a warrior, but Baba Mitra has gained in size over the years.
He did.
And one more thing, if you see the video, he's like upright. But actually the warriors, they are down, way down. Yeah. So when they leap, very high. And when they hop, very, very fast. No, because they're down.
With the terrain.
Yeah,
It
the
depends on the
terrain.
terrain. Because
And
we're
also,
flat, yeah.
Then the terrain is uneven. So that's it. And so they choose their battles. And poor conquistador, he has a long sword, heavy armor, with leather boots. So in the terrain near the Cordilleras, it's not flatlands. they're at a very, very disadvantage.
Yeah.
Actually.
I think there's a video where they you see there's a tip right in the back. There's a video in YouTube where they punctured an armor of a Spanish regalia.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a video. Yeah, so someone they didn't expect that. That's how devastating that technology was then.
It even goes through their salakot tile.
Yeah. You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, going back there, our terrain is mostly mountainous, and the trees are short. So of course, how would you wield a long sword, a rapier, or what? So it's just, and then if you've seen our shields, they wet them. There's a certain wood, they wet them. So once steel gets into it, you could not pull it out.
You get stuck.
It gets stuck. So what they do, they throw it and they go for your head right away, straight away.
They let go of the shield, and of course, if it is stuck in your soul, it's very, very heavy. So
it goes straight for your head. Yeah. But anyways,
that's why I was wondering. I mean, I don't want you to get mad at me, but I was like, why are they learning him up there? Like, because I was like, they had an easy time with Fiore de Batalla in real life. These are like martial traditions that they destroyed. Like, you know what I mean? When they faced them. But it's just that your martial culture is so rich. You want to learn every single thing. That even now you keep, the martial way.
There's one more thing. This is no tale. This is no myth. Genghis Khan and Kublai Khan?
Yes, yeah.
Especially Kublai Khan. Kublai Khan in the 13th century invaded China. And the Han nation, he defeated them. And the generals and the royalty came here in the Philippines. And then they won't dare stay in the coastal areas because already Kublai Khan controlled the commerce going here. And he has lots of spies. He already controlled the trade. So what will they do? This royalty and the generals, they will go up the mountains in Cordillera. And they went to Sagada, in between Sagada and Bisao. And there is a proof there in Sagada. There is a Chinese calendar, a stone calendar. It's there. Not only that, if you see the headgear of, I'll get the headgear.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Our headgear, because my ethno-linguistic tribe is from Sagada, Bisao. I will show you something.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll go back there. Even the hanging coffins.
Han.
Yeah, so that's Han, very Han. So there was a transfer of technology then.
Well, because the thing is, that's the common joke, particularly in Luzon. The reason why you guys are so light-skinned compared to us is because there were a lot of Chinese and Japanese that settled, in those regions, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you had the trade with the jars. We could talk about that later.
It's our headgear.
Oh, wow.
You see?
That's the Chinese one. Yeah.
Chinese it is.
Yeah.
You see?
It's the Chinese court. Yes.
Yeah, here. Yeah. This is in Sagada, Bisao area. This is one proof that the defeated Han tribe, royalty, and the generals came and went to us. And another is hanging coffins.
Right.
In the Han area in China, they're hanging coffins.
Yeah, northern China, yeah.
So not only that, we got also the martial traditions. Yeah. If you can see my the elders how they handle the spear.
Yes.
Yeah, I can demo some, but it's too tight here.
It's too tight.
It is some like kung fu type, but it's not kung fu. It is the fighting style. The kung fu is more in exhibition, but the one I saw is for fighting. The spear work. In conjunction with the kalasag, the shield.
The shield.
And there are spikes and a bolo here, and then there's a head axe at the back. So you can see how well armed the warriors. And not only in their feet, there are spikes. Bamboo spikes. So when they grapple, they will stick. Or when you go down, automatic that
You're dead.
that spike will go in your body because you will fall on it. So they have a technique that they will take you down and then they'll.
It's fast. It's quite fast. It's really fast. It's
Yeah.
really fast.
So
There goes your jujitsu.
that is practical jujitsu.
Yeah.
That is why our compatriots when they go to MMA, no, you see they fight with the jujitsu, but
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So that's it. Not only here, also in the Visayas and also in Mindanao. Yeah, they also have their own fighting system. The fighting traditions is also effective.
Yeah.
Why were they also able to fend off the Spanish? Because like us, the Spanish went in it's jungle terrain. So it's again the advantage of
Yeah.
IPs.
But this is just a particular part, ano? So this is in Besao and Sagada. Of course, in Kalinga, it's also a different thing. In what do you call this? In the Gandang area, it's also a different thing.
Yeah.
So there are mixtures of influences. Yeah, like in Kalinga and the Apayao area. If you would see the Ayatollahs of Taiwan, very similar headhunting practices. Yes. So
There's a wonderful movie. You care to share it to them so they could watch it because your culture is so similar.
Yeah.
The title of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, Sidik Bali. Yeah. The
Yeah.
Sidik. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a movie. Essentially, it's a historical thing that happened prior to World War II, where the Japanese came in there to suppress the tribes, and
Yes.
they weren't having any of it.
Yeah.
So they got rid of a few divisions until they were defeated, but they were only defeated because the other tribes ganged up on them.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the first invasion. The second invasion is when Chiang Kai-shek was
came.
defeated by Mao Zedong.
right.
3 million of that Chinese
Came
to
there.
went to Taiwan.
Yeah.
And
Right.
they took it as their country.
So there are injustices too.
That's injustices. And now China says that there are 2 Chinese. No, that's never been part of China. It's actually the old map. That was a part of the Philippines, Formosa.
Yeah.
The olden times.
And the president is IP. Now,
The president is an indigenous person.
yes, very much. Okay, so at least we've gone to that direction. Like what you said, we're studying HEMA too, because arts are evolving. There are things that you need to. There are lots of stuff in HEMA that is really beautiful, like the binding, using the cross guard, the shields, and also for in longsword. We really appreciate so much with this. So now it's also infusing it with our technology. If you see us from the mountain, from the Cordilleras, we don't just train with what we had then, but mostly we also do some edge and impact weapons, short blades right now, which would work for this modern times. We were into firearms, that's why I'm into Paolo all the time and Zero then. So we just keep on evolving, So we don't, we're into Japanese swordsmanship also. So there's no what do you call this? We don't stop. Although we have our traditions, yes, but we have to evolve. We have to be in par with all over whatever's happening in warriorship in the world. So at least when time comes, we'll be ready for anything. So that's our mindset.
I remember I spoke to a very prominent scholar over here, and the way he described it to me is, it's still a live martial tradition when they don't want to be calcified and be like, oh, let's keep to what granddad thing and let's not deviate from that. He said that that's how you could tell that it's not a bouquet art anymore, that they're just doing forms and they're not sparring, and then it's not actually warfare, because warfare arts, you have to adapt to what's in the environment. That's how it's a bouquet art. That's how it's still a martial art instead of you're just doing dances, because you're like, man, that didn't work last time in the battlefield. Let me get rid of that, adjust it, and add this one. That's how it's a bouquet art.
Yeah.
So
you noticed we never stop sparring, and you've seen I've got into a freak accident where I snapped my Achilles.
Oh, terrible. You snapped it like it's a clean snap too. What you had?
Yeah, that's clean snap. Yeah.
Oh my god.
but still, you see, I've done surgery and everything. After 2 or 3 months, there's this thing that you can't stop sparring. So if I see this, if I see steel, I hear them, I still want to go. So shucks, I can't stop. I still go and spar. I don't care. So yeah, there's this thing that this that tingles that you just want to go, whatever it is. And then after that, this is the first time again from after my surgery. That's December. That I smelled gunpowder, so I want to do that integration, that the blade and firearm integration again. So which I keep on training.
Was that where you're videoing you and your wife in the range?
Yeah, that's me and my wife in
The
the
family that
range.
shoots together stays together.
yes, yeah, correct. So learning never stops. I'm very much open to any art, from firearms or whatever. We still have to grow. I'm over 40 already, but I still want to learn. There's still much there to be learned. So we don't stop. But of course, again, we go back to our traditions. We never forget where we came from. So this is very important from what we have. So look at my chest. So I may not have this tattoo, but at least I'm still bringing our traditions. Yeah.
I do have a because don't lose this track of mind that you guys are talking. I just want to address this specific question that was sent to me yesterday.
Correct.
Since there are many ethnic groups in the mountain provinces like Kalinga, Bontoc, Kankanay, Ifugao, Ibaloy, etc., can you ask if they will talk about martial arts training of the mountain people? Can you please ask if they generalize about the ethnic group they are talking about? Thanks in regard. Essentially, you're going over the whole thing. So
Yeah.
with our talk,
Correct.
so you're talking about pretty much
Yeah.
the generalized. Yeah.
To generalize, yeah. But it's even in the Kankanay area or in the Kalinga area, no, how they would wield the head axe and their style of wielding the head axe. Let's say in Butbot is different from that in Pasil.
Tanudan
Or in Tanudan.
is different from
Yes,
Yes.
Pinupok, yeah. Also, you see Baba Mitra, his style is different. From we have also a friend. His name is Chaukas. What's that? Cyril Chaukas. He is from Sadanga.
Yeah.
And the way they wield also, he demonstrated that axe. It's much different from what Baba Mitra demonstrated
It's
to
really
us.
fast. Really fast.
But yeah, so there are different style.
And that's why I need your help next year because I'm running in this area and I don't want to get missing 411 over there, man.
Yeah, you come here and you will learn from the past and you will evolve it.
Yeah. But by the way, Baba Mitra's style is Lubuagan. Yeah, from Lubuagan, Kalinga.
Right
Yeah.
by Mount Kayapap. Yeah, right.
No, Mount Kayapa is over Mount Purgatory, where you're saying is somewhere here. Where his area is, what's this? The sleeping maiden.
Maiden, yeah.
So
Sleeping maiden.
yeah. So that's where the mountain's shaped like a maiden. So that's where he's from. Yeah.
All right, continue, sir. I'm sorry, I just had to, because I wanted to address Carl Stark's question. So
Okay, you can ask again another question and you'll answer it.
Yeah, maybe it's guys. Let us interact with the people on board. Yeah. So at least I really wanna interact with you guys. Yeah. At least we could say that we've been into research for the longest time now. So maybe it would be good for us to share it also.
So go ahead, keep on asking questions because I'm looking for more, and they didn't. For some reason, they didn't PM me anything yesterday.
I can see Guru Ray. Hi, Guru Ray. Eric, you're there. Hello, man. Okay. Okay. Maybe Julius, you would want to ask something. Or whatever.
Yeah. I do have a question for Ariel because he has done extensive research on the different martial traditions over there. So how you doing, Ariel?
Yeah.
This is a generalized question for you, not just concerning the mountain martial traditions of the mountain region, but also your different travels in the Philippines. Can you go over the Moros that live there now? Are they learning any? Is there cross pollination? Because I know there's Moro immigrants in the mountain region. Are they kind of interacting with each other and exchanging info? Can you hear me?
Ariel? Oh, I think his internet dropped.
Oh no.
There you go.
Masyado siyang mahina.
Oh, okay. Maybe Daddy, you could answer that. There really is. Yeah.
Yeah, again,
So there's essentially Moro immigrants that went up there in the highlands. Obviously they're bringing their martial tradition with them. Is there cross pollination or an exchange of ideas between you, the IP
no,
of
mostly if they came up here, they are not warriors. They are traders, so they trade. What came up here were those who were employed by the Spanish and by the Americans as mercenaries. They
right?
come up here. So we pick up on their style, and they also pick up on our style. So that's where the cross pollination you're talking about. It is during battle in the encounters. Two
Yeah.
different styles will meet, and they surely they will pick up from each other.
The problem is we don't when we have battles here. We
Yeah,
make sure
but the problem is when we do battle here, we make sure that there are no survivors, and we chase them up through up to the seashore.
Yeah.
There was an account, with there is a certain Lieutenant Thomas with 30 Americans and 300 mercenaries. So they went to Kalinga, and of course they were defeated in battle, and I'm sure there were no survivors. So that's it. Because why are there no survivors? So that the technique, the way that we employed battle won't be known by the enemy. That's why we are also very successful in fending off this Spanish attack, because they don't know, our tactics, our tactical application. No,
You don't mess around up there. That's why I love you guys. And even now, I wanted to talk about like your approach with the COVID, because it would be like outsiders are not allowed, because that could wipe out whole indigenous tribes, right? Yeah.
Yes.
You have shoot on sight orders, correct?
My
Yes.
God, yeah, like one of our tribesmen, right?
Yeah.
They almost killed the Magina.
Yeah,
That was so bad.
there in Kalinga, there was a lockdown. During the early days of the lockdown, they won't let even their daughters or their sisters who are studying here in Baguio or in Manila go in to their communities. So what they did is they just send money or something so that they will not just in the
Even
communities.
food and all.
Yeah.
They make sure that they give food.
Yeah,
Give them food. Yeah.
food.
The community themselves, they help out.
Yeah.
To distribute the food, well, so that the community won't get infected in Kalinga.
But sadly,
Still.
I won't mention names. There was one politician who availed of the government, yung balik probinsya.
Yeah.
So he availed of that, and he sent his constituents home,
Yeah.
and the residents were infected, and there was one mother and child when you just went home, and were really nearly killed by the community.
Yeah.
If the police did not bring them to Igorot, to a hospital in Igorot, for sure they will be dead. That's how COVID went inside the
mountain province through that mother and daughter theme. That's
not
awesome.
only to the mother and daughter, there are some others. So
I did get a question. I have PM, so I'm sorry to interrupt. So she's like, so my question's kind of vague, but what traditions and cultural practices, exercises are used to traditionally prepare folks for martial traditions? Like in Hawaii, before anyone is taught lua, they necessarily learning of the hula. Another example might be, say, the wrestling culture of Georgia in the Caucasus Mountains right by Russia. Are there any parallel rites of passage training for young people who are following the warrior's path?
Yes, there are. There is a passage of that. You cannot become a warrior if you are not adaptive to the hunt. No? So once you've been to the hunt, you're already a warrior.
Yeah,
You will learn all that is to be a warrior in a hunt.
But before
Yeah.
that, could I add something?
Yeah, and when they're still small, no, the terrain, they will play in the terrain, running up the hills, going up, climbing trees, everything. That's part of the training, you know. And there are games also, which is what we say drills, no, but there are games done by the young, so that when they will come up warrior age, trainable, like say 10 years old, then they will be easy to teach.
Don't you know that as early as 2 years old they give a bolo? Yeah, the task of the kid is to cut some branches for me to get fired. When you get at least older, around 4 or 5 years old, okay, get me a chicken, you butcher it. Then there's in the tribe, the uncle would those ones who were her warriors, they get the kids. Okay, you stay with me. I'll give you stories. Okay, so I went to this village. We went for a hunt. So this is what happened. Paliwat, all that. Yeah. So that's what they do. So so as early as that age, you really are taught how to do the tactics, survivability in the mountains, and then how you really do the hunt. Especially in Kalinga, before you could not marry if you don't bring home a head.
Not only in Kalinga,
Yeah.
all over Asia, all over Asia, all over
Right.
Asia, not only here.
Right. The head hunting tradition was vast and wide before the Europeans
Yeah.
came. You know, and even talking about the world famous tattoo artist, the oldest tattoo artist, Wang Od. I mean, you could tell she was like super hot. When she was very young. There must have been a lot of dudes vying for her, chopping off heads, because she never married, right? She never got.
She did because she wanted a guy from the other tribe. So like Bava's tribe, what do you call this? That's Lubagan, right? So but she wanted someone from, I think, Saklit. So it is mountain province. So I think the family didn't want them. So there was a tribal war. So she didn't marry. That's the story. But yeah, I don't know. There are more.
There was a question that I got just right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Me. Okay, so I could somehow paraphrase it. Essentially, when you guys go into a head hunting hunt, it has to be sanctioned. So people have to think about it like in terms of the Godfather, like the 5 families of, they would vote on. It's like, okay, are we gonna do that? When was the last time that a sanction was okayed?
My dad, it was really nice if you read with Jude. Yeah.
Jude, he will tell you about the
Last
but
hunt.
it is the last hunt, but it is not sanctioned by the community.
It's just bloodlust.
Yeah, it's a bloodlust. That was done in 1955 here in Kias in Baguio. Yeah, but I will give you. I cannot get in touch with him. I will give you his Facebook. You can talk to him through Messenger or his telephone. He's in Canada right now. So he can tell you about the stories about the past. Also the passage of the Ibaloy warrior. Yeah, because he's an Ibaloy, so the warrior passage he will also relate to you.
I'm paraphrasing a question that was asked from me yesterday. Right now, because you are keepers of the martial flame, not only the ancient and arcane ones, but the current ones, right? In Asia, not only in the Philippines, the mountain region is a powerhouse when it comes to FMA. The most prominent gym is Lakay, right?
MMA,
which is in MMA, which is they win one championship in URC. And I want you guys to talk about that in a sense, is like, because the stereotype of lowlanders like me is like, because I was well traveled as a child, because the person who adopted me, my dad's uncle, he works for the Department of Tourism. And when we go there in Camp John Hay or whatnot, and you go to Luwakan Road, you always notice like the indigenous people, you guys have very dense bones, very strong. And I want you to kind of talk about that, on like how that started, that particular martial tradition of, Wushu and Sanshu, that kind of thing. And like, your prominent fighters with Mr. Kelly, right? And the most famous one, the guy who took out
Pulayan.
Fulayong, right?
Right, yeah.
Fulayong. Yeah, go ahead.
You could talk about Edward. He's from
Sadanga.
Sadanga. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's
The really warrior tribe.
Sadanga, they are up to now they are warriors. So his the warrior and his killer instinct is very fresh. Yeah, because as Michael was elaborating a while ago, the killer instinct is already developed at the age 2 years old. Yeah, going up. So in order to be a successful warrior here, your killer instinct, you're going for the
Should be
kill.
imparted
Should be
at a very young age.
at a very young age.
So to provide context, Edward Fulayong was the guy who did the upset against Shinya Aoki during Shinya
Correct.
Aoki's
Yeah,
prime.
Correct.
And so the structure of training a kid around 2 years old, you have him chop wood essentially to bring you like twigs and all that with a blade, and then around 5 you have him kill a chicken, right? And then after a few years after that, you have the village elders talk to them about engagements, and then you bring him to a hunt, right?
That was then, That was then. But of course, I know Edward. If you see my pictures, I've been with them and all. But if you would see, he grew up carrying sand and all because we're in the concrete jungle. He grew up in Baguio City. Yeah. So, but of course, because of hardships of the family, that's what he did. That's what he did to go to school and everything. Manual labor, really. And then they, of course, if you would see their area, it's really steep.
Yes, steep, and
Yeah.
there are no roads.
No
so
roads,
you have to
yeah.
walk kilometers going uphill, going downhill.
Yes.
So you could see how the
How
legs were
developed they were and all. So it really started from a young age. Of course, this if you notice, we are mostly Christianized. When the Americans came in, like my forefathers, they were the first who were educated with
the Thomasites.
Yes.
Yeah, the
So-
Thomasites. Yeah. So let me just provide context because most of the people here don't know that. In the Philippines, we know those as Thomasites because essentially what America did after they kind of won the war is they took a ship called USS Thomas and they brought teachers. And they were
Yes.
supposed to teach the entire island so that everyone would know English and American history, the Constitution. It was to Americanize the Philippines, essentially.
Yes.
So continue, sir.
Okay. Regarding what you said, if you notice, we're more Americans than Spanish.
Right.
So
Yes.
Right.
they came here. They built teachers camp.
Teachers Cup, yes.
Yeah, so teachers camp
Right.
was a camp, for the teachers. During summertime, they come here because it's very cold here during summer.
Right.
During that
Your
so
grandfather and
then in the early 1900s, they built that camp and people from all over some areas here in the Cordilleras went there and they studied. It so happened that that's where my grandfather and my grandmother met. Yeah.
Right.
My grandfather is from Bisao. My grandmother is from Mangkayan. So they studied there and they met. And since my grandmother is well off, my father has to go with my grandmother because my grandmother is Kadangyan, the family.
Yeah, Kadangyan means a rich person.
This person, they own, their clan owned the Lepanto mines
Yes.
long before. And siya destroyed, yeah.
I need to
That's
just
good.
provide context in the thing because you talk about Camp John Hay and they don't know what that is. Through my own research, essentially the Ibalois called that place Kafagway, right? And according to my own research, essentially what happened with the Americans is a lot of people couldn't tolerate the hot humidity. So Taft, Roosevelt, there were multiple people that said like, man, is there like no place in this country where it's kind of cool? I'm dying out here. So essentially, that's essentially what they made that as some kind of vacation resort, essentially like R&R area for military types. And then that's where the pine trees came from, some of them, because they planted it, right? So it was like a reorganization of an existing place that later became an American place. Go ahead.
So what the Americans did as a recreational center and a educational center. So the recreation is in Camp John Hay, where the army are billeted. And the education center was in teachers camp. So that's where, they started. The teachers' camp was like a camp before because the classroom were military tents. Yeah, the military tents.
That's where most of the people in the Philippines, that's the stereotype of that place, is like the white lady of Lawakan Road, Kofafi, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's an urban legend of
Legend,
the
yeah,
Igorot and
exactly.
early Baguio residents. Yeah.
So yeah, regarding what you said, remember you said Kafagway, but early natives in the Ibaloy, it was Baguio that they thought because there was a lake there. The moss is called Baguio.
Yeah.
So the Americans could not pronounce Baguio, so it became Baguio.
The
Baguio City, yeah.
the guide and translator of the American pointed what place is this? And then the guide said, what is this? Pointing to the mosque. And the Ibaloy lad said it is Baguio. So, and they cannot pronounce it.
Baguio.
So Baguio.
It
But
became
actually
Baguio.
the place where Baguio is called Kapagway.
Because the thing is, like, our language is so descriptive, the different languages, Austronesian languages filled with both vowels and consonants. Essentially, that's part of the reason why in your area there are so many American surnames. It's not that American soldiers slept with them, but they just gave him an American name. So go over that. The guy who knocked out Jens Pulver, his name's Kelly. Like, his last name is Kelly, but what's his real name? What is his ancestral name?
L-E.
Kill-E.
Yeah.
Kill-E.
Yeah.
Kill and then with a hyphen and then E.
L-E.
But when the American read it, Kelly.
Change your name to Kelly.
There is also one, Kiut. Kiut. When the Americans read it, Keith. See? No. So, I mean,
Became Keith. Became Keith.
Keith,
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's
just like
hilarious.
when they read the name of was that the boxer, Donaire?
Donaire.
Donaire
Becomes Donaire. Yeah. So Shan. They make it more palatable to
like us. Our surname is Bognosen, and the American will read it Bognosen, like an Anderson.
Right.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So that's it. But it is in Kankana it is Bognosen.
Okay.
So continue. It's just, I think I'm done with the questions. I went through all of them that was given to me.
Okay. There is one more thing. The video. In the video, you can see Rizal and Luna doing fencing.
Right. Which is the armas that Luna had. It's his sword school.
Yeah.
He had a sword school. The photos that you had, I actually took a lot of them because some of them were featured in Gemma Cruz Araneta's different books. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that in that book, in that film, they are portraying not the Spanish type of fencing,
Yes.
because these so-called ilustrados learn their fencing in France because they won't do their activistic in Spain. They will be jailed by the Spaniards. So they did the thing in France, the Los Indios Bravos, that's
Yeah, wait. Dad, Carl's talking about, what about empty hands? Is there any translation from weapons to art in Mountain Province to empty hand? Or there's an empty hand at all because of the battle before? The
empty hand pugilism is worldwide. So every warrior knows how to strike, knows how to parry with their hands, like that. But unlike the Ilocanos, which they're very good in, and in Pangasinan, they're very good in using empty hands. They got it from the old martial arts, which is silat type. Sapeur here in Ibaloy, and salat in Ilocos, salat.
It's called salat. It's called salat.
Salat, salat. So that's it. but it is silat like, yeah, or Bornean influence. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So we're getting off tangent. Maybe we go back to the mountains.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Because okay. If you've seen the video, there would be a first. Okay, We'll go to. I just connect it. That's why we have Sala de Armas. Yeah, we also have Ilocano roots. Yeah, with the Luna brothers. Yes, and then that's also that's the entry where Hima came in. So we did. There's a delineation between our martial traditions, FMA, and the infusion of European martial art, the martial ways. And so that's where we came. But mostly my focus is more on our bladed traditions. My father is more of the Kabarwan and the Kadaanan styles of the Ilocandia. So like Cervantes area, near the Bago areas. Yeah.
Yes.
Bago areas. So
That's very
Bago
long
means-
range. That's very
Yeah,
long
yeah.
range. Yeah.
Yes. So of course, if you would notice, we have we play with the distances too. So you've got the long, mid, and short. Even the shortest ones are for grappling or going down for the dama or gabbo they call it. Yes.
Yeah.
So
In Ilocano, we
Yeah.
call it gabu.
yeah.
Takedowns. There are lots of takedowns.
Yeah. So there are lots of types, and then
That's the types.
yeah, there are videos that I want to show, but I can't. Yeah, maybe I've shown you then, but it's just for our eyes, like
Yeah. No. We're
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I follow your way, and we
Yes.
didn't ask for any permission, so we
Mhm.
cannot. There's no way that we can share that to the greater public. I respect the indigenous peoples because I have a lot of indigenous people friends here,
Mhm.
so I understand your ways.
We really love to, but we have to tell the community first before we have to ask them for permission to
And
even
then after that, I'll even ask permission for the NCIP because you're a high-ranking official there. So we have to ask for the permission. After that, we have to ask the NCIP as well, right?
Yeah, it's called the FPIC.
Yeah.
Free permission of the indigenous communities.
Friend prior
Prior, consent.
yeah, friend prior consent.
And there is one more thing when in regards to FMA. You must have know about this. The barong and the Chris.
Right.
You have seen FMAers, Grandmaster, wield the barong or the Chris. But I have seen, but that's not how they
No.
movement. Yeah.
Yeah, because just as it was explained to me, and I'd asked permission for this. I don't think they're gonna shoot me if I tell them. I was friends with Ali Dimaporo's brother here in America, Frank. He's saying the very fact that the wave, the Chris is a wavy blade.
Yes.
How it's used by some FMA masters is not correct. Like one of the tactics is dropping it at someone's collarbone because just the
Yes.
very fact that you pull back, that cuts them already
Correct. True.
because it's double edged, right?
Yes.
You don't see that in the movements when they do their amaras, when they do
Yes.
their forms. That's not right. And a lot of how they do it is close, meaning like they go low to the ground manlulupa, and they do a side profile to minimize the target that the
Yes.
opponent can hit you with at. They're very low, and then they turn the side profile like this, and then their target is here or the legs. That's not what you see when people do forms. I just don't comment because I don't want to get political. I don't want people to get mad at me.
Right.
That's
So
true.
with us.
Yeah.
But it's just I sometimes I have a hard time. Like I'm like, oh, that's actually not how they do it. That's not what Frank was saying. Because obviously he would know. I mean, he's a warlord's brother down south.
Yeah. Okay. So at least we have this respect to our forefathers, which we both respect, and as I go deeper, as we go deeper into research, man, there are lots, even the occult side. So, but this is just a tip of the iceberg. It's really there are more. There are lots because you've got your healing tradition, you've got your what do you call this?
The IP spirituality.
Yeah, IP spirituality. There's lots of stuff. Yeah. even the council of elders, before they do anything else, they always ask to the supreme before they move. So these are the things that these are things that we have to respect. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we could if we cannot go over that, that's particularly fine. If you can provide a brief general overview, we still have time because we're about an hour and 2 minutes in.
Okay.
So, oh wait, no, a little bit more than that. So 70 minutes. But go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe there are lots of viewers. I really want to you ask us some questions like from
I don't
material.
understand why they're not giving me any more questions because I even asked them like on two different walls yesterday. I mean, the last 2 days, and
Yes. Yeah.
only about like 3 or 4 people gave me questions.
Okay. Well, what do you want from your perspective? What are other things that you want to pass through? Yeah.
I do want to have like a because you did studies with the tribes on Taiwan,
Yes.
and I want you to talk about the particular similarities on your worldview, on your religious and spiritual beliefs.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
if you can't get over that, go over that. That's fine. But
My dad. Yeah.
Yeah, all over the world. If you make a study of the eyepiece, their beadwork, very similar. Their choice of colors, even in when the design of the cloth, the weaving, very very similar. No, the art and the colors again, very very similar. And when they do the rituals, very similar. There are some differences, but 80% very similar. Now let's just confine ourselves with Taiwan and Cordilleras. If you go to Thailand, you can see their beadwork, how they make their dress, the artwork, very much similar to that here in the Cordilleras. That if a Cordilleran will go there,
His home.
it's his home. There is one researcher here, a doctorate, Maria Platen. He went there, and then he sent us photos. He did not say that it is him from Thailand. So what I thought, it was an export of Nardas. Nardas is a popular weaver brand who export, Igorot, the ikat there to New York, Paris, like that. Mm-hmm. And he was laughing. No, it is in Taiwan. And then he said that very, very similar to ours. That was years ago then. And then this movie came about the Siddiq. And we watched it, Siddiq Bale, and
everything's the same.
Everything's the same.
From movement to, But they're more, of course,
2012, there was this a gathering of IPs here in our city, sponsored by Kidlat Tahimik and his wife. No? So we met IPs from the American Indian, from Thailand, IPs in Thailand, the Ainus in Japan. And when they came here, they were with their garb very, very similar. You cannot distinguish,
Even the music, right?
The music, how they beat the drum, the scale of their nose flute, very, very similar.
Even the pentatonic scale of their nose flute.
Yes, it is.
Let's expand on that because this is not something that you see a lot in the West of like not so much. I mean the kind of like your worship of like the divine feminine, kind of like so let's talk about like maybe we should get like a female member of your the tribe of the Cordilleras next time. But can you talk about that and how the culture is structured, whether compare that to patrilineal, matrilineal dominated societies? So
here in the Cordilleras, it is matrilineal and patrilineal at the same time, because the women have already rights established. No more fighting for their rights. They have their rights, and they're very, very strong.
Right.
And and they are instigator. If there's something strong in the village, they will instigate. There's something is up here, so they will. So it is patrilineal and
So it's simultaneous. It's a syncretism.
and
Right.
not only that, there are ethno-linguistic communities here. Their shamans are usually men, but here in the Ibolo area, I notice their shamans are women. They'll conduct the prayer, the ritual. They're women. They will read, whatever, let's say, mambunong. They call them mambunong. So maybe next time we can tell about that.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
I
yeah.
introduce you to Jude Garantes, who is in Canada right now, and you could be in contact with others, each other, and you will learn from him. He will relate. You're talking about the last community sanctioned headhunt. That was in 1952. It culminated in Sinipsip in kilometer 50, I think, or kilometer 70 in Benguet, here in Benguet. That was the last sanction. And the unsanctioned one, 1955, and I'll give Jude to tell you the story about it.
Nag-cut off lang. Oh, okay. I have to restart his computer. Is he logged out? Yeah. But anyways.
Siguro rin nagbabay ito na ito.
Yeah.
It's
It's okay. Do you know or listen about Dhamma? Dhamma. Dhamma. Not Dhamma. Dhamma. Yeah.
Kaya mo sagutin dito.
No, it's groundwork. Yeah.
Dhamma in Buntok areas.
Yeah, yeah.
Bultong in
In Ifugao area.
Gabbo in
Here.
yeah,
Here. Baloy area.
Gabbo.
I'm waiting for you. Let's wait for Julius.
Okay.
Okay, from the viewers, any questions? Like Carl, you talk about Dhamma. So this is about the groundwork. Yeah. So there are different styles. So you've got something in Bontok, different from the lowlands, also different from Ifugao. So it will always depend on the terrain.
In the tribe.
Yeah, and the tribe. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you, Carl. Bye. Dhamma, not Dhamma, Dhamma. So double M. Agdadama.
Gabbo in Ilocos and Pangasinan.
Yeah. So
Bultong in Ifugao.
yeah. I'll check. Host joined. Are you in? Discord. Are you in? Okay. Oh, will we log out? I'm just talking to Julius. Okay. So his computer crashed.
Okay, tomorrow. Right now.
No, this is late.
My coffee.
Yep. I also drink my coffee. Hello, you're back? Okay, there's another question. Let's wait for the questions. But there are lots of games.
Indigenous games.
Yeah, there are lots of IP games. Yeah.
They're actually training for the warriorship.
Yes. What do you call this? When my dad was a kid, there's something like they play tag. They throw stones at they call it bagbag to. You could research that. They gang up into two tribes. Then they throw stones at the end of the river. So that depicts that depicts throwing spears, going here, and then in the end they dinarap na. What do you call this pa? Darap.
They will merge. They will.
Yeah, they merge and then they
They will rush each other.
yeah, they rush each other, so they throw stones, so and then they rush each other. Can you share some of them?
That's where what's that? The kabu comes
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I'll just wait for my dad, so at least he experienced it. So I haven't done it, but we did something similar with access in Wichon, but of course in respects with the teachers, I could not. I'd want to share it, but again, as respects to our elders and our teachers up there, I could not. So maybe for the indigenous games, my dad could be part. Dad, come over, please. Yeah. Yeah. So it was in text.
In text.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the indigenous games, there are a lot of games, but they're actually drills or training for warriorship. So yeah, it may be a melee or a free for all or in groups. One on the side of there's a river, and both sides of the river there are communities. Like they're of the same tribe or may not be of different tribes, but there are times when they will simulate battle, and we call that laban. Laban means fight. So fight like a fight, just like a fight. They'll simulate a fight. So they will throw stones at each other. No, and then they will meet the middle of the river. Of course, the river is shallow, and they will do wrestling there or grappling or whatever. They call it damma in the mountain province, and in Ifugao it is called bultong. In the lowlands, in Ilocanja and Pangasinan, it's called gabbo. So that's how it is. When I was young, I did a lot of this gabbo, no, and then there was one elder. Not like that. It should be like this. So we have an indigenous way of doing an armbar, doing an Americana or whatever. Yeah. So later on, when they're old enough, at least they know the rudiments already of wrestling, and the warriors they will be trained by warriors. The training of a warriorship is when they bring you to a hunt. It's not only a hunt; they will prepare you for warriorship. Of course, they will be training everything. And you are young at that, 13, 14, 15, until you become a full-fledged warrior. So warriorship here is hands-on, right from the games when you are young, and until you'll go to the hunt, you join the hunt. I cannot read.
Michael, what did you say?
Just permanent dates. I meant not games. Oh, permanent dates. Dates. Permanent dates in our history. Our history. Our ancient don't say March 16, 15, 21. No, it's not like that. There was no time when the cuckoo crowed like that. There was no time when Amma like this died. 3 months away from this died, and then the Spanish came and attacked us like that.
Tell them to do the ulalim. Research on the ulalim.
So you research on the ulalim of Kalinga, and what's that of the Ifugao?
I forgot.
Yeah,
Hudhud.
the hudhud of the Ifugao. You research on that hudhud, HUD, hyphen HUD, and then ulalim, ULALIM, ulalim of Kalinga.
That's oral tradition.
Yeah, the oral traditions. What else? Food dishes. What times of the year do you get together for feast or celebrations? Nowadays, modern times, our reunion is during Christmas and New Year. But in olden times, right after the harvest, there's no particular dates.
But Bednas, diba?
Yeah, they were Bignas. Yeah, right after harvest, or right after a victory in warfare, like that, or right after a victory of a pandemic, something like that. Or there was pestilence, peste they called it. If they overcome that, there will be that will signal that will be a signal to festivities. There are no exact dates.
Birth, death, marriage, everything
Yeah.
comes for the reunion.
And our reunion is during death and marriage. Those are popular reunions of the clan. Yeah. And also birth and name giving. Now we call that baptism in the Christian parlance. In our parlance, it's called name giving. So we'll give the name of the newly born child, an indigenous name, not a Christian name, because the indigenous name that will be his name for during the duration of his life. His Christian name for them, for the IPs, it will be a means of going to school, getting cedulas, conducting trade. So they need a Christian name. I just jump in on the water. Food dishes. The food dishes, the most popular here are Pilipican. And then there is a broth, or you say, you just put everything there. Potatoes, carrots, everything, and big chunks of meat.
What?
Yeah, we call what. And there are no seasoning. When they put that, there's no seasoning.
Salt.
And then when they take out, they will give you salt and chili. What's that? Pepper. Hot chili, hot pepper. They will give you that with salt, of course. And it is served on a banana trunk, So when there was contact with the Ilocanos during the American regime, we began to cook adobo. No? Spanish, the Ilocanos. Adobo. Yeah. And then kari-kari. What's that? Pinakbet. Of course, we have the way of cooking these things. Very different from others. Yeah, Cordillera way. And there is one particular dish which, the PETA, PETA, the cruelty to the animals, have been, watching us because we love dog meat. Yeah, we love dog meat.
You could see it on dog eating on the St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
And National Geographic.
Yes, National Geographic, there are accounts of dog eating.
You could research it.
Yeah. The delicacy also during the olden times, but now it's forbidden because there are migratory birds from Australia passing through here, and then they will go to Russia or northern China. And our hunters will hunt these birds with nets or whatever.
Are there more questions?
Any more questions?
Share your Felicia over how your marriage and ritual tradition celebrates go. You could see the Baloy 3 days to 1 week. It depends.
Yeah, it depends on how
Rich you
how
are.
rich you are.
If you're a Katangyan,
If you are a rich man, a kadamyan, we'll go for a month. You will slaughter 200 pigs, 1,000 chickens, like that.
like what you're saying, Julius, regarding marriage. If you go to a Katangyan and then you ask the daughter's hand, the first thing you'll ask is how many can you butcher? Yeah. So I remember this. There was this friend of mine who wanted to marry a Kadangyan.
Rich man's daughter.
Yeah. So she's an Ibaloy. So the guy said, the father said, how many can you give? I could give 3. He said, no, sorry. Kayang titanlo. He said. So the guy said, can you do 3? Yeah. Talo nga baboy wen kaya kaan, he said. Talo nga aldaw. So meaning could you butcher for 3 days ongoing? For 3 days. So of course, it's expensive to get married here in the highlands, you know that.
The community will come.
Yeah, because if the gongs would be beating, the community would come. And you have to feed everyone. As in everyone. You could not, it's taboo for us not to feed people.
Not only feeding, there's called what take home.
You have to give them something for go. If you're invited, you came, you should be given a chunk of meat. It's called what. Yeah. Okay, any more questions, guys? The rituals on the marriage, Dad. Yeah.
Oh, the ritual, it depends upon which tribe. If you are Ibaloy, just like my son is talking, the family will ask how much you can give. And usually, the rituals is conducted by a mambunong, which is traditionally a woman, shaman.
According to traditions, I've heard a few times.
According to traditions, the old style, you have to present a head.
The old style, you have to present a head. Yeah, correct. But now, of course, it's not acceptable because most of us are Christianized up here with so many sects. Yeah.
So nowadays, you must present yourself with a degree. You must finish something. You must be a lawyer, a doctor, or whatever, and you will be welcome in the family. Because like that, their daughters are also doctors, lawyers, they are nurses, school teachers.
By the way, literally rate here in the Cordillera is quite high.
Yeah, because we value education.
Yeah.
My father have to walk from Mangkayan to Lubuagan, in the Kalinga Academy every month or every 15 days from Mangkayan. You could imagine how many kilometers is that. And the terrain is, going up and down. And he has to carry his abasto. We call that a half caban of rice.
There you go. When it comes to lingua franca, what's the order of knowledge? Yes.
The lingua franca here in the Cordillera is no, during the time. No, the lingua franca long before is in Ilocano because an Iboloy cannot talk to a Kalinga. They have different language, different. So what they use is Ilocano. When the American came, when most of the Cordilleans were educated, the lingua franca is English.
Not Spanish.
Oh, not Spanish. English.
As I said, we're more Americans here than the Spanish. Yeah. We got the Benguet Cowboys. Right. Any more, guys?
In the hinterlands, they hate Tagalog. Yeah, they have to know. Yeah, they don't like because they when the Tagalog came here, they were the ones who were educated, no? Educated. And they were used by the Americans as clerks, judges, doctors, no? And the choice land, no? They have it. So, what can I say? And then not only that, Tagalog was declared as a national language, which practically destroyed the other languages because Tagalog is not Filipino. No, so the Americans want to centralize everything, but the Ilocanos, the Pangasinenses, and us here don't like Tagalog. Me, when during my school days, I failed in Filipino up to high school. So as I said, the lingua franca here is Ilocano and English. Try to log back in din Pangko.
Okay.
Venus black skin, yeah. Oh, do people still stay bladed when they go out? 50 years ago, in the 1950s, even in the 60s, no, I see some Cordillerans go out bladed. Not only bladed, they carry spears and their blades. They walk around the city carrying their spears and their blade. But when the 70s came, 80s, I no longer see bladed persons. They are bladed, but it is concealed. You know, the hinalong, the small blade, but not the bolo or.
Maybe let's stop it now. We'll come in.
Oh. Okay. Sikat yung mga ibaga, you type it.
We read what else the question.
No muna. Oh. Trying to get back in Din Franco. Let's wait for to get back. We wait for you to get back. Ako. Saan got some message ito eh?
Different platforms. Okay, maybe let's make us a new thread, Julius, and then we'll get and log back inside.
Type mo lang.
So we'll just be logging out for a while, then we'll just wait for Julius to make another thread for us. Oh, okay. Okay, maybe we'll just log out first, and then we start a new BeLive studio. Okay, I'll see you guys.